This is the real deal spaghetti carbonara. So stay tuned, I'll show you how to make it. Spaghetti carbonara, one of my favorite all-time Italian pastas. And you know, this is one of those pastas that, at least around my house, this is what gets pulled out when I forgot to pull something out of the freezer or forgot to pick something up on the way home. And I know I've got some bacon in the fridge. I know I've got eggs. I know I've got some pasta sitting in the pantry. So I'll whip up a quick carbonara. And the kids love it. Now, I'm going to try to stay as close to the original version of carbonara as I can. There are many different versions of carbonara out there, and a lot of them are just big ass cheaters, making all sorts of white sauces and cream sauces and cheese sauces. Now, that's not carbonara. I'm going to stay as close to the original as possible, really just deviating with one ingredient. So what is it? Well, it's spaghetti made with like a creamy egg sauce. And the creamy egg sauce is just basically made up of some eggs and some really good cheese. In this case, I'm using pecorino. You could also use parmesan. Pecorino kind of falls in line with what the Romans like to use. And for the meat, we would be going with a guanciale or a pancetta, but in this case, since I have neither one available to me here, I'm going with some diced up bacon, some thick cut bacon, which we have plenty of here in Pennsylvania. And I kind of like to go heavy on the bacon. I'm only making 2 portions today, but I've used 6 slices of bacon. Some nice pepper, and then I kind of top it off with a little bit of chopped parsley. So what really makes this dish? Well, the bacon, the spaghetti, and the creamy egg sauce. So how am I going to pull all this together? Well, first thing, I've got some water boiling over here. It is salted water, and generously salted. So I'm going to go ahead and get my spaghetti boiling. While that's cooking, I'm going to get my egg mixture going. So I've got 4 eggs here. I'm going to take 2, I'm going to scramble those up. Then I'm going to use 2 yolks and scramble the 2 yolks in with the other 2 whole eggs. Then I'm going to go ahead and add my shredded pecorino to that mixture and some cracked black pepper. That's it. There's no milk, there's no cream, none of that. If you do it right, it'll come out nice and creamy. The key is to, once we get going, I'll show you. The key is once we cook off the bacon and have that ready, we actually turn the heat off and let the residual heat from both the bacon and the spaghetti actually do the cooking on the eggs. But I'll show you when we get to that point. So that's it. That's how we're going to make it. So we'll move over to, there goes my ice maker, right on cue, right? So I'll get everything moved over to the stove, and then we'll get cracking on that. Okay, so I lied a little bit. I'm actually going to get my egg mixture ready before we go to the stove. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 eggs and crack them into my bowl here. There's my 2. Then I'm going to go ahead and do 2 yolks only. One. Save those whites. You can make an egg white omelet out of them. There's 2. Go ahead and mix this up with about, I don't know, about a 1/3 cup of my cheese, my pecorino cheese. That's all I'm going to do is mix this up, scramble it up, get all the cheese incorporated in there, and I forgot my pepper. Add an abundant amount of cracked pepper. If you're a pepper lover, hey, you're all in on this. You can always add more later too. There you go. That's ready to go. That's going to be our sauce right there. So I'm going to go ahead and set this in the fridge for now, and I'll get the spaghetti going. And once we've got our bacon cooked off, we'll add this in. I'll show you exactly what I was talking about. Dropping the heat and letting the heat of the spaghetti, the cooked spaghetti, and the cooked bacon do all the rest of the cooking. So we'll be right back. So I have my water at a rolling boil here. So I'm going to go ahead and just get my spaghetti going. And just kind of push that down. No oil in the water. No oil needed, just salt. I've got about 2 tablespoons of salt in here. Like I say, I like to generously salt my pasta water. So we're just going to kind of break that up. Separate it so it doesn't stick. Bring that to a boil. Back to a boil. There we go. Put my trusty anti-boil over mat on the top. And then we're going to go ahead and get the pan going for our bacon. So I'm going to heat this up. I'm going to put just a couple teaspoons of olive oil in my pan. Yes, I've got olive oil in there. Yes, I'm going to have bacon. Trust me, this works. It's all flavor. Alright, so we'll heat this up and then we'll get our bacon in there. Meanwhile, this is at a full boil now again, and I'm going to go ahead and just make sure that I don't have any sticking spaghetti here. And this is hot, and it's separated nicely, so we're good to go there. Alright, we'll let that go for about 8 to 9 minutes. Alright, our pan is getting nice and hot for our bacon. Into the pan we go. I don't want this too hot because I don't want to burn the bacon. I really kind of want to render the fat down. We don't want this crispy. So I'm going to kind of spread this out. And we'll let that go. And let me turn your attention over to my anti-boil over mat here. As you can see, I gotta get a link to this and post it. But the lid is preventing a little flour thing in the middle, is preventing the water from boiling over. I love this little gadget. Okay, so we're at about 7 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and just test the spaghetti a little bit. Yeah, it feels like it's still a little stiff. That's probably got a good 2 minutes. Meanwhile, I'm going to turn my bacon down. That's almost where I want it. I still got 2 more minutes to go on my pasta. Worst case scenario, I just move my bacon off the heat. Okay, so we're just about there. My bacon is looking just about right for what I want. I don't want it over browned. At this point in time, I'm going to go ahead and shut off the bacon because I don't want that pan any hotter than it is. We'll let the heat of the oil and the bacon do the rest of the cooking, especially for the sauce. Now, I'm going to be taking my spaghetti and going straight into my bacon. Reserve your water. This comes in to play here if you should happen to want to thin down your sauce. We will use the salted water. That's why you've noticed that, if you hadn't noticed, I haven't used any salt in this because the spaghetti is already salted in the water, and if I need to use any more, that water is also salted. So, anyways, let's move this out of the way, turn this off, and I will start mixing my spaghetti and my bacon. And then I'm going to go in with my egg mixture. It's a little bit too hot right now. So, now, my egg mixture. Just going to pour that straight over. We do not want to cook the eggs. We don't want to make scrambled eggs. That's why I've turned all the heat off. If I need to hit it with a little heat, I will, but I shouldn't have to. Now we're just going to go ahead and give this a nice mix. And look how creamy this is looking. This is the way it's supposed to look right here. It's not scrambled eggs in there. I've got a lot of this bacon I need to get down in. I'll tell you what, the rest of this mixing I'm going to go ahead and do right over at my island, so we'll be right back. Okay, so we moved over to the island over here so I can actually use my right hand. We're a little cramped over there at the stove, so this is looking really good. It looks like it needs to be thinned down just a little bit, so I took some of my reserve pasta water, go in there, and there we go. Nice and creamy. I'm going to pan in on that just to show how creamy that is. Alrighty, we are there and it's looking good. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little portion on the plate here. Give it a nice little parsley action there to make it look pretty. And I like a lot of pepper, so I'm going in with some more pepper. There you have it. Traditional spaghetti carbonara. Actually, we're going to kick it up one more notch. A little more cheese. There we go. A thing of beauty right there. So before I go ahead and test this, let me do my shout out. And this shout out goes to all you sailors that just got orders to Italy. I envy you. Well, I was in your shoes at one time, so hey, you're gonna have a great time. The food's awesome. Can't you tell? Now, let me go in and give this a try. Yes, I'm using this spoon. My director told me I probably should because I am probably one of the sloppiest eaters around. So, go in here. Get a little bit twisted on the fork here. This is smelling good. Don't you wish you had some? Well, after this, you go ahead and make your own. Oh, this is gonna be all over me. Money. Fantastic. Creamy. Got that nice bacon flavor to it, the cheese, the pepper. Pasta's cooked perfectly. This is spaghetti carbonara. That's not the fake stuff with the cheese sauce or the white sauce or whatever that people are trying to claim as being carbonara. This is the real deal. So hey, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe, most importantly share it. Right over here, go ahead and punch my logo and that makes it a lot easier for you to subscribe to the channel. So until next time, thanks and we'll see you.